I refuse to let anyone around me do that skeptic shit. This game is gonna be fucking fire, and I am so confident about this that I'm gonna record this shit immediately and not change a single thing about it. Now, future Kenzie is gonna take over from here if they haven't said fuck it and started watching Grey's Anatomy. See y'all in a few months or whatever, and if I'm wrong, I swear I will give myself an ungodly amount of shit for it, so you don't have to. And how do I know it's gonna be that good? Because I fucking said so.
Why did you say that shit?
I meant it at the time. They were gonna release a network test. I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Did you learn nothing from Gundam Breaker 3?
I put well kinda in the title.
Well, this time, well kinda won't cut it. This is an important one.
Oh, well fuck me. If they don't read it, that's not my fucking fault.
Well, none of that matters. Is the game perfect or not?
No. Hi everyone, this is Kenzie. Gundam Breaker is the series that allowed me to be able to upload to a small auditorium level audience of people rather than just a few of my friends and maybe a bit of family. The first video about Gundam was on New Gundam Breaker, and I went in completely blind and said that yeah, it was a bit on the shit ass side, but in a vacuum and on a sale, it was at least worth a weekend and had some redeeming qualities. Then I played Gundam Breaker 3 and I called it perfect, well kinda. And that basically meant that outside of some personal gripes that I didn't think largely counted against the game, I thought there was nothing wrong with the game. From there, I've played almost every single Gundam game released in North America, and I've seen my fair share of the shit and my fair share of dog shit. Today, it all comes full circle. Gundam Breaker 4 just came out and I thought this wouldn't happen. When I did a video on Mass Builder, a Gundam Breaker clone, I said that this would probably be the closest we get to this happening. And while that was true for a few months, they did the unthinkable and released a good Gundam game for fucking once that they can't shut down based on the previous best Gundam game ever made, in my opinion. That title ain't clickbait and it never will be. I'm gonna break this game down the way I always do. Very cute, very demure, and very Now, with all of that being said, there's one more order of business. You see that white guy at the beginning that was interrogating me? He was actually responsible for not only filming me smoking a cigarette off of the flames of a burning Journey to Jaburo case, but me and him collab pretty often on and off the script, and I want to pay it forward and give him his flowers. So no, it isn't me being sponsored by some greedy company, but I'm sponsored by a cute ass little boy. Orange River is a guy that makes content focused on sci-fi media ranging from Star Trek, Metroid, Mass Effect, and even one-offs like Battlestar Galactica and Cyberpunk, a collab video between the both of us. All of his videos are educational, packed with content, and sometimes just downright silly. So if you don't mind, please go show him some love. I'd appreciate that. He has played a huge part in me wanting to grow and make banger content for y'all, so I'm equally gonna support my friend the same way. Big thanks to Orange River aka Tyler Pilkey for sponsoring the video.
It's my stress, that's for sure.
Getting into the game, you get to name yourself, and of course, my name is Kenzer because you are cute. I know you smiled at that shit.
I caught you in 4K.
So since the game immediately throws you into the story, I guess we'll start right there. From the moment I got introduced to this game's dialogue, I knew it would be a completely transparent ass, friendship is magic ass, Magi Nation ass, Alfred the Hedgehog ass. Hold up, what's another show y'all probably haven't seen? Monster Allergy. You meet a boy named Tao, who is basically the tutorial immortalized as a pussy boy character. He shows you the ropes and gets you acclimated. If you couldn't tell by now that Tao is a small and insignificant manlet, he is relegated to using an SD suit. In this world, the game is GB4. It's a meta thing where you're the player inside of the game and everyone else is a player in the game. So extremely technically, it's an isekai, but there's no albedo to shove her titties in your face and there's no one getting reincarnated as a slime. I mean, you can probably kind of look like one, but I digress, I'm not building that shit. After you do a few things, you get to customize your suit, and it was then that I made a pink and green aka sorority mobile suit. I would do the little call out that they do, but I like having my kneecaps, thank you. Later on, you meet a character named Lin and your trio is formed. I like Lin because she checks the shit out of this dude and puts him in his place.
Oof. I could do without the attitude, jerk.
Yes, queen. Anything for you, my queen. The actual story part happens when you experience a weird glitch in the game, and this worries you, but it doesn't affect anything right now. And the mission you're on progresses as normal. The game is in beta for them, so they just write it off and keep it pushing. Then after the mission cutscene is more Saturday morning slop tune shit, but after a while, Lin is mind broken. And honestly, it was around this point where I gave the story some time to make me shut up and listen. And while it was at least kind of interesting that the story actually twitched a finger and convinced me that it was doing something, they always found a way to bring it back to the past Samurai Jack and disinterest the fuck out of me. The overarching event that the characters are doing is clan battles between other clans in the game in the style of a Grand Prix or a tournament, whatever you really want to call it. The group is essentially trying to recruit people to our cause, and as a result of this, we get to meet a fuck ton of characters, but what they really end up being are anime tropes. Mind Broken Lyn ends up recoloring herself because she's just a weird digital clone of Lyn's character, and Tao names her Lilin because she stutters saying Lyn in a cutscene, and her trope is that she's just childlike and head empty. Tao is annoying and continued to be. Lyn is an enjoyable character, but in general is just there to complement the other characters, and Sheena is also there. Lyn and Sheena drop nuggets of them having past traumas outside of the game, with Lyn having like no fucking family besides her cousin, and Sheena feeling trapped within the walls of her family, and her playing the game is like her being free from that and being able to make friends as close to normal as possible. Trauma jump scare aside, I do think that those are good character attributes to have, but having this sitting right next to a tournament arc story where we have to care about our group of Sonic heroes, girl, I'm good. Now, the most interesting part of the story is obviously the glitching that the characters experienced earlier. I was very ready to write this story off at this point and just turn my brain off and just play the game, but I noticed that this game's story had a bit more underlying discourse going on than I was expecting in my Discord server and on Twitter. And I'll go over my experience and give you the cute bitch version of events, but spoiler warning, this shit was so fucking corny. This is where the story actually decides to speak up instead of being socially anxious. So another spoiler warning, just in case you want to see the ending events for yourself. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5, 2, 1/4, and 1. The glitch is actually a virus that a team called the Freedom Fighters are exploiting to make their Gunpla stronger than usual. The virus was actually uploaded by one of the team members of Freedom Fighters called Chaos, and we'll get to him a little bit later. This team was initially a part of the Grand Prix part of the story, and even then they were so comically evil that I actually liked them, but now they're a core part of the story. During a mission, we fight them, and Sheena notices that these bitches are a little strong. Even when they lose to us, they don't really even care, but of course we find out that they are cheating little snakes. Our team rubs their brain cells together to finally spark a charge, and they come to the conclusion that the GBV is the cause of everything. The glitches, Lyn getting mentally owned, the unnatural increases in strength, the ability to awaken your Gunpla and unlock shonen protagonist mode, all of it. GBV, God, this sounds like an STD, is also able to infect people without them knowing. Also, GB4, the video game that they're playing in the game that is also called GB4, is so weirdly immersive yet also weirdly static. Like, call me crazy, but it really feels like they do go beyond the boundaries of a video game pretty fucking often. Like they're writing a story that doesn't take place in a video game, but then they want it to be a video game so much, and this feels very Sword Art Online-ish or Overlord-ish, but no one is at any risk of anything happening to them in-game. And don't even get me started on the ending. We'll get there, never mind. The League of Villains that are fucking around with the virus are finding out just what makes our team so good at winning, and are also revealed to be wanting to use this virus to unleash the power of GB4 and basically do some hood rat shit. Also, if you didn't know that this story was childish as fuck, I don't know, maybe I just hate fun. So we still have a tournament to do, and our opponents are the team that is the highest favored to win, the team led by a character named Meister Jin. We start to fight until a glitch happens again and Chaos enters the tournament battle unprompted. Lyn thinks that he's going after me, but no, who Chaos really wants is Lilin, who is revealed to be an AI entity that he seeks to manipulate and control. So Chaos hates AI, so he seeks to control it, fair enough. Also, Mr. Afro Guy, aka Mr. Gunpla, is actually Misa from Gundam Breaker 3 and is Lyn's cousin and legal guardian. Cool. So Chaos takes Lyn and builds a massive fortress and tells everyone in GB4 that if no one can defeat him, then he will destroy Lilin and the entire game with her. Even though literally no one besides our group and friends have a reason to give a shit about this, if he shuts the game down, just play Star Ocean 3, dummy. Or just go the fuck outside, because these characters take this game way too serious. Literally just shut the computer off. Also, circling back to my observations about how this game's writing seems off?
I couldn't save Lilin.
It wasn't your fault. It was that creep who kidnapped her.
You keep saying kidnapped, but he just has her in-game avatar, right? She should be fine as soon as she logs out, shouldn't she?
Mashima is spitting though. Yeah, she's an AI, but if this happened to anyone else, what is stopping them from just logging the fuck off or uninstalling or deleting the account? Like, I really don't think this needed to take place in a game, but I don't know how people really feel about that, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. That's also possible. So let me speed this up a bit, you heard me. Chaos set up 4 trials for you to complete in order for you to gain access to his fortress and beat his ass. You have to defeat his 4 kings consisting of 4 anime villain tropes and collect 4 keys and open 4 locks. Damn, Jen, did you write this? Oh my god, okay, damn. 2 of the kings consist of 1 being a Dami mommy.
Need to cut you down. I want to hear your screams.
Oh my god, beautiful!
And a girl that has probably said Oni-chan and Bakayaro enough times to give an internet loser a hernia from all of that sperm buildup. But each mission gives you insight to each king's motivation. Most of them really don't have one that aligns with Chaos and are really just kinda whatever. The strong guy that looks like Gamagori from Kill la Kill
Gamagori
is doing it for Dora the Dami mommy. Kara, the little volatile yandere girl, is only doing it because the bitch is evil and wants to get stronger. Dora is doing this because hearing that some nerd wants to shut down a game that's in beta that will inevitably get put up again and he will inevitably get IP banned gives her chills, or in an indirect anime innuendo speak, gets her pussy wet. And Kuro Kante is the strongest and he wanted to keep being the strongest, I guess. Killing the 4 kings is pretty easy, but every mission after that has you killing a monolith, and every single time you have to deplete its health to a predetermined amount and then it'll shield itself until you kill the enemies that will then take the shield back down. These are the 4 worst missions in the game, period, no contest. They are all such a slog, even with my parts leveled the fuck up. Basically, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know, you know? But then we get to the fortress and fight our way to Chaos, and this mission is pretty damn cool environment-wise. There's all these sprues and Gunpla boxes just strewn about the place, and this is actually pretty cool when you know the villain's motivation, no matter how terribly presented they are. So let's talk about it. So now we make it to Chaos, and it's here that we finally get the straight-up reason for Chaos's desire to extend server maintenance. He opens up that he doesn't really hate the game, but like I said earlier, he hates AI so much that he wants to completely get rid of it because he thinks that GB4, the in-game GB4 that is overrun with the influence of AI, and he thinks it's replacing the human element of Gunpla simulation. At this point, it basically becomes the battle of the dumb bitches. Our team is on the defense of AI, saying that AI is more human and feeling than Chaos ever will be. No, it's not. And Chaos is just a fucking idiot. Even though I think the core of his message is pretty much correct in general, I just hate that it's attached to this garbage storyline, whereas the good guys, we're saying that the use of AI in this instance is good actually, even though Lilin is a fucking sentient AI and we should just be friends with it. Like, Chaos gets so close to saying the good part out loud, but no, he just wants to save his favorite Gunpla game from the scary AI replacing human potential, even though this is a video game. Like, he says that Meister Jin should owe his success to Awaken, which he calls an exploit, and has been used by the best players to change the game up, and this should have shown him the latent heights that humans can reach. And same for me, the player, who can also awaken, and he wanted me to join him because he thought I'd feel the same as him. Is he spitting? A little bit, because he is saying some true shit, but I think it's misguided. In this story, it feels like we're supposed to think this guy is bad because we have to save our favorite game? And I think it's a load of wank, personally. Chaos goes on and on about how he's breaking the restraints of the system by making himself stronger in the video game, and how we're defending this prison we call GB4. Just a reminder.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
But this story is just so juvenile and childish that I honestly can't believe they didn't just keep the story at the Grand Prix and just have some tournament drama. Like, seriously, this doesn't feel like character motivations. This feels like I'm listening to 2 groups of developers have a hissy fit at each other. Oops! Also, Chaos is a former developer of Endgame GB4 that left the project because of the game's use of AI assistance. Grown ass man. He screams and cries about how this world was built by humans. You mean developed, you fucking, and they keep dropping nuggets that this world is for everyone, even a sentient AI. We beat his ass, and during this time, the character Artao says,
"Human or AI, all are welcome in the world of GB4, no matter their origins."
All are welcome here.
It is a world with room for everyone.
Oh yeah, everybody. That's why you're gender locked and you can only go by he, him pronouns. That's the end of that. He goes off about how it should have been him, not the AI waifu getting the praise. And he says that because they ran simulations with AI, he couldn't bear to see his game getting the human aspect replaced. That's why I think the levels having all of those runners everywhere is pretty cool, because that is the one thing that is synonymous with human gunpla building, is that you make it. And I get that. That's a nice thing to me. But the rest of this?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no.
They put Chaos in Gunbreak jail or something. Girl, what's stopping him from logging the fuck out and despawning? Is this a subscription service? And they all get back home. The AI is glad that she found real living, breathing friends and totally won't go haywire when Lizard Squad gets their hands on her and the game ends. This story needs to take several seats. Just so y'all don't get it twisted, Chaos's statement on the creative spirit and freedom of humanity is something that I believe should be protected. Duh, I make videos for fun, but bitch, this should have stayed in the drafts. Using this kind of story as a background for actual gems of truth works against itself when it's just lame all around and just tucked away at the end. It's not worth getting there. It's alluded to, but I just think it was a mistake to go so hard at the end and it's not even that good. Maybe it could start a conversation, but the amount of glazing these characters give to AI is just suffocating. They try their best to paint Chaos as this fucking like crazy AI harebrained person and treating the good guys like the saviors of AI in the future and tomorrow and all that shit. I don't care for it. What I'm saying is that the story was at least a net neutral before they decided to get weirdly preachy about living happily ever after with the cute AI brainlet. I said this about New Gundam Breaker and I think it's true here as well. This story is meant to facilitate progression, grab a fuck ton of pieces, unlock key features and gameplay, and nothing more. The reason to be here is clearly to build your shit, and the game knows that too. Now, I feel negatively about the story, and when it was just about the tournament, I just didn't care. At least it bothered to invoke a feeling, but bitch, I did my time and it wasn't worth it. I got my 36 breaker boosters for 36 story missions played, and at the very least, it's not Gundam Battle Operation. Hola! Wait a minute though. I said what I said, but let me give this story some credit. The voice acting on all sides, yes, even Tao, is good. I don't like Tao. I think the way over the top, toxic, positive nature of his reactions to characters is insufferable, but I think his delivery is fine at least. The stars of the show end up being the side characters for me. Chaos is just a fucking lovingly voiced character. His character design is interesting, and in general, I think he's fine, and I can say the same shit for most of everyone. They showed off all the VAs, and I don't think that was a mistake. They did a good job, and I hope they get more work. If this game was voiced with AI, I would have pierced my eardrums, so I guess Chaos did nothing wrong. Oh yeah, this is a game too. I personally held off on talking about gameplay because it is its own type of thing, but I do think that the gameplay is absolutely fantastic. I didn't know how exactly I would talk about it because, you know, Gundam Breaker 3 is a thing, and I made a video about that too, and I did think about comparing the two, but that game also isn't available in the US without importing it, so to some people, this is either their first or second Gundam Breaker game, with the first one being boo-boo, and this one being actually good. So I've decided to only compare GB3 with this game if I deem it necessary, but this is a GB4 joint, and it will continue to be, so let's get into it. The gameplay is damn close to perfect, if not just perfect with some imperfections, which means imperfect, but hear me out. I have played almost every Gundam game released in North America, like I said earlier, and I think the best ones, period, in order, are The Nasty Gundam Reborn, Gundam Breaker 3, Mexi Boost On, SD Gundam Battle Alliance, and Gundam Evolution. And I think Gundam Breaker 4 is right under Nasty Gundam Reborn, save for it being a Dynasty Warriors game and not necessarily a Gundam game. Gundam Breaker 4 is my second favorite Gundam game, and it only beats Gundam Breaker 3 for me because it's just the same game but with small quality of life changes and the promise of future support. But a lot of people haven't even played that, so fuck it. What does this game do? Essentially, it is a beat 'em up or hack and slash, whatever you prefer, but I think beat 'em up is more accurate. Beating someone up implies that you are having to hit it multiple times to take it down, when hacking and slashing kind of implies that you're effortlessly doing it like Dynasty Warriors. Anyway, the game feels good to play. You will enjoy the game whether you're playing with the base shit or making your own shit, which you should be doing. The customization is basically the same as it was in GB3, but for those of you that haven't played it, it's better than New Gundam Breaker by a landslide. There is now no need to cope with playing New Gundam Breaker. It is now obsolete, and I'm happy to say that. The game allows you to create literally whatever you want with being able to adjust your parts, size, and position, and all that good shit. It's literally what is expected and demanded, and they delivered. Now, in a very specific case, which is using Super Fumina pieces and Mobile Doll May pieces, they do not allow you to paint those pieces, but honestly, I don't think that's a hugely bad thing, because I just changed my pieces that I can color and work around it, but it is an objectively weird thing, because why the fuck not? You should be able to color everything, and I'm sure that people will be modding the dog shit out of this game, so I'm not too worried about it. I would also like to mention that this game drowns you in in-game currency, and buying pieces are so fucking cheap, it's insane. Cheaper than New Gundam Breaker and cheaper than Gundam Breaker 3. 10,000 GP gets you a high grade and all of its pieces and the weapons included, and the rarity of each piece is random. So say you snag a couple of pieces from a suit like, let's say,
Which, of course...
Bitch! Thank you very much. 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 Thank you very
every single piece you buy can be higher rarity and have higher levels too, but the rarity affects the amount of passive slots you have on your pieces, and I don't know anything about anything else, but that's the main thing. Now, while I've been glazing pretty hard, I will say that you don't have every feature unlocked right away. Plainly speaking, this game limits your progression pretty hard if you don't play the story. The story mode caps your level, your rarity, your ability to heavily scale your pieces up, and basically keeping you shackled until you beat it. This isn't a huge issue if you just skip everything, which you can do, but some of these fights suck ass, and some also do that thing where you can't kill them until they quit yapping. And let's not forget about those monoliths. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to skip that shit. But despite all of that, I have been collecting and changing my suit like every mission or some shit. You can really get your juices flowing here, and that's great. The story didn't kill that level of fun I was having building my suits the way I wanted and using the tools I was given in every single mission. They have you unlocking gameplay features all the way up to the end of the story, so at the very least you're getting something for doing that bullshit. Even then, you're still gonna be getting a fuck ton of parts along the way. You're gonna be able to do whatever you want. And that creativity even extends to the combat, and bitch, let me gush real quick. The combat is stellar. It's fucking beautiful shit. The combo variety, the weapon variety, even though a fair amount of these animations are from Gundam Breaker 3, but like I said, that doesn't matter that much. The freedom of expression through combat would put Marvel 3 to shame, baby. It feels so fucking good, I can't stress that enough. And as far as the performance goes, it's been a smooth as fuck experience on PC at 60 FPS for me. Now, there is something about the combat that I want to bring up, and it's related to GB3, but not in a way that's comparing them, but rather it confuses the fuck out of me. So in GB4, there is a new movement mechanic called emergency drop that does what it says. You fall to the ground immediately when you're in the air if you press the jump button. It works as intended, but the only reason to use it is because you're up in the air above an enemy you can't hit. This problem was not in GB3, and I played it again just to check, and no, the game lets you go down and hit shit, and I tried to reproduce it and I just couldn't. But enough times to bother me, in GB4 I have been above an enemy and they don't bring you down far enough to hit them. They created this issue and then Band-Aid fixed it. It's so fucking weird. But it is a minor annoyance at most, and the combat is mostly grounded and a lot of moves will bring you to the ground. So once again, it's up to you how much this bothers you, but when it happens it slightly nags at me and then I reposition. No biggie, but it happens enough for me to talk about it. Also, lock on is kinda squirrely in bigger boss fights. Every now and again you'll fight big boys, and after they do a move they'll have weak points that you can lock onto and knock them down for free damage, but usually you won't be able to get every single one first try unless you're in the lucky position to be able to hit them all. And most times the lock on will be jumpy as fuck and not lock on to the right thing. And you can use long range weapons to hit them, but the lock on still gives you the same shit. I don't know if you can even make this easier by switching lock on types, because I did forget how to switch, because even at the beginning of the game it felt bad to me, so I opted for auto lock on. But with auto lock on, which I assume most people will be using, lock on felt low-key gross on some big bitches. And do I like big bosses? Not that much. They will just spam big moves 100% of the time, and if you don't level up for these they can take forever. Alternatively, if you do level up, you melt them faster than your brain on black tar. They are whatever to me, let's put it that way. I don't build Gunpla, so I'm not the type that'll go, oh my gosh, is that a perfect grade Unleashed RX-78 too? I would love to fight a perfect grade Turn A Gundam so that I could say I'm pounding Loran Sayek from behind with my fists, but alas, there's always DLC. In general though, the game is just fucking fun. Fun is subjective, but this game is subjectively fucking fun. If you want to have some fucking fun with the new best Gundam game ever made, then skip those cutscenes, pick up some parts, and get to mashing, because this shit is fucking fire. Even before, during, and after the story mode, this shit is pure flames at its core. The gameplay systems are on top, and everyone needs to experience this at least once, especially if you're a Gundam or Gunpla fan. Also, Pac-Man has his own level dedicated to him. It's cute, but I'm not playing that more than once, but it's cute. And I also feel like I should bring this up too. The gameplay loop is just fine, but like I said, for GB3, it's also the same in GB4. The gameplay loop is what you get. Once you beat the story, and once you do all the quests you want to do, grinding for parts and maybe playing online and shit is probably one of the only things you're gonna be doing. If you like that, then this is not a problem. It's literally not a problem, and it'll probably never be a problem. But if you don't just like grinding all the time to make your pieces better and make all your suits and shit good and all of that other stuff, you might not like this as much as other people. You will like it, but you might not like it as much. But do I believe the game is worth full price? Well, let's talk about it, because it's a yes and a no. If you already have access to Gundam Breaker 3, wait, just straight up. You already are playing Gundam Breaker 4 in some ways already, save for the fact that Gundam Breaker 3 is probably not getting any more updates, and why would it? There's a new game out. But if you don't want to import and your only exposure to Gundam Breaker is New Gundam Breaker, then you should have had this yesterday. Skepticism about Gundam Breaker 4 was never allowed in my sight, and now that the game is out, the word has been told. Gundam fans deserve this game. If you go on Steam right now, the pickings are slim. Like fucking slim is Cleopatra on Ice Spice's trip. SD Gundam ain't for everyone, because they might not like the art style or some shit, and I get it. New Gundam Breaker literally doesn't matter anymore. Call that shit Who Gundam Breaker, because who are you? Cross-Rays is available, and it's good, but maybe you don't like strategy, Fire Emblem type shit, and I get it. It ain't my favorite either. And Gundam Battle Operations, girl, I think most people can get behind feeling good, beating the shit out of people with all different types of parts and weapons and looks and shit. It's satisfying, impactful, looks good to boot, and as Chaos said, creative. It's good, okay? Perfect with a few imperfections, and I knew it would be exactly that. Take it easy, y'all. Make sure y'all tell me what y'all thought about the game in the comments, but be respectful. That Elden Ring video got folks clowning, and I expect Gundam fans to be better. So play nice, please. In the meantime, if you liked what you watched and you want more of my videos, please subscribe and become a cute bitch today. And if you liked what you saw and you want to support me, I got a Patreon, memberships on YouTube, and you can even follow me on Twitter for haha funny shit, or join the Discord where you can talk to people who decided to join my community. Say hey cute bitches if you want to be in the video, because I'm gonna show y'all off. Hey, what's going on? Hey Seraph Eden, what's good? Hey Pixels from the Sky, hey Ralph Stuff, hey Mateus, what's going on? Phobia, hey HCB, what's going on? Day, what's going on? Ed Mallory, hey cute bitches. Yes, this is what I like to see, y'all. Yes, 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 yes. Now stay safe, stay hydrated, and most importantly, stay cute.